Good morning.
What is up? This is SynClaiR the Wolf. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss the possible Tekken 8 base roster. Okay. Now, what I come up with. Okay. And here's my disclaimer. Okay. This is not official. It hasn't been confirmed. All right. So take this with a grain of salt. All right. Now, what I've come up with here was my concept of the Tekken 8 base roster. Now, what is it based upon? It's based upon the popularity of the DLC characters from Tekken 7, as well as the contribution of the guest characters to Tekken 7's success. Now, we know in Tekken 7, there was Akuma from the Street Fighter series, there was Geese Howard from the King of Fighters series, King of Fighters franchise from the SNK brand, and also Noctis from the Final Fantasy series, and don't forget Negan from The Walking Dead. Okay, all right. So these DLC characters hugely contributed to Tekken 7's success. All right, DLC characters and the guest characters. Okay, all right, and the same formula has been implemented into this roster as well, because we know it will be a no-brainer for Bandai Namco to follow that same formula of including DLC and guest characters in the next Tekken franchise in order to match or exceed Tekken 7's success. All right, now once again, this is a concept made by me. This is a very controversial roster I'm about to show you. All right, some of you are gonna get burned out as hell. Some of you are gonna hate me for it. All right, but hey, it is what it is. But once again, this is not confirmed. This is only a concept that I come up with. All right. Okay. So without further ado, let's get right to it. I'm going to show you right now. Okay. Let's take a look at it. All right. Now this is my concept that I put together of Tekken 8's character select screen. All right. Let's start with the top row. Now remember what I was telling you about the DLC characters, how they made a immense contribution to Tekken 7's success? Well, who more than Leroy Smith? Okay. Okay, so the top row starts off with Leroy Smith, hugely popular character, used in tournaments. Okay, used during the finals. Okay, I mean, it's like, have you ever had that in history before, where finalists had all used Leroy Smith in the tournament? Okay, so Leroy Smith. Due to him being a very popular character, it's very likely he'll return for Tekken 8. So, Leroy Smith, okay, followed by Christie Montero, Capoeirista, all right, who is Eddie's significant other and trainee, all right, highly requested by fans during Tekken 7 due to her absence, all right, and yeah, still, you know, Eddie Gordo's still a favorite of mine, okay? Still my backup main for Bruce, one of my faves in the series, main faves in the series. So just because Christie's here doesn't mean I want to see Eddie go anywhere. All right. I'd like to see him either implemented as what do you call it? A preset swap, a preset palette swap, or a DLC character. Okay. Either way, I still want to see Eddie in the roster. All right. So just because Christie's here, it doesn't mean I have hatred for Eddie. Come on, those of you who follow my channel know that Eddie's the main character I like pairing up with Bruce in the Tekken Tiger Tournament games. Okay, and he's my top main in Tekken 7, as well as Tekken 4 and Tekken 2. All right, and after her is my prime main, Bruce Urban. Bruce Ryukin. Yeah, I'm one of those fans who had bugged Harada about including him in Tekken 7. Yeah, I bugged Harada on Twitter about it, along with many others who had bugged him about it. Alright? Harada himself could tell you about it. And what can they do with him? Well, Bruce could, first of all, rekindle his camaraderie with Kazuya. Okay, reunite with Kazuya once again, because he did help Kazuya take over G Corporation. He did work for Kazuya in Tekken 2. Okay, so they could be a tandem again. All right. Okay, so we can have that Bruce and Kazuya dynamic back in Tekken 8. All right, and what they could also do with Bruce, they could reignite his rivalry, Tekken 5 rivalry with Steve Fox. If you played Bruce in Tekken 5. You know that he had a cutscene, a hilarious cutscene with Steve Fox. All right, I like to see them build upon that. And also, what was Bruce's objective in Tekken 6? His objective was to capture Jin. All right, I like to see him build upon that as well. See what the fallout of that was. There's plenty they can do. From those things alone, there's things that Bruce can do in the Tekken 8 story. All right. So, and yes, I was bummed out by him being replaced by first Joyce of Resolve, then Fakumram, and just Bruce being absent with no explanation. All right. I'd like to see him put into the next game in Tekken 8. All right. And after him is Rodeo Montana. Okay. From the Tekken mobile game. All right. I used Rodeo. He's one of the characters I like using. I like to see how he plays in the main Tekken game. From what it seems like, judging based on his playstyle, his moveset from Tekken Mobile, it's very likely he'll have some of Marduk's moves. Some of Marduk's moves or some of Brian's moves. Alright, so it'll be very interesting to see how he plays in the main Tekken game. And yeah, you don't see Brian on the roster, nor do you see Marduk, so those two players could go to Rodeo and try him out. Alright? And after Rodeo is Shuwawei, also known as Taekwondo Group. Alright, now you notice on this roster, right, there's no Rorong and there's no Pek Do San. Okay? And this right here, including Shuwawei would keep that Taekwondo element while keeping the roster fresh. Alright, it'll be very interesting to see what Shuwawei brings to the table. She's a concept character who's supposed to be in Tekken Mobile before it was canceled. Alright, so it'll be cool to see what they do with Shuwawei and have her have a connection with Rorong. Alright? And after her, you have, of course, Kazuya Mishima. Alright? He defeated, and spoiler alert, yeah. Well, then again, Tekken 7's been out, on console since 2017, so, you should have already played through the story by now. You know that Kazuya defeated Heihachi at the volcano and tossed him into the volcano, and Heihachi's ashes, okay? Heihachi's dead, deceased, alright, with Kazuya being the victor, okay? So it's a no-brainer that Kazuya will return in Tekken 8, and Kazuya and Bruce could have that dynamic once again. They could be that G Corporation dynamic duo once again, alright? And after her, you have not her. Sorry, after Kazuya, after him, you have Xiaoyu, her, right? After Kazuya, you have Xiaoyu. Kazuya fans will hate me. You have Xiaoyu. All right, you know, with her and Claudio, right? Claudio's using her to get to Jin. All right, so that storyline will likely be implemented into Tekken 8. All right, then you have Jin Kazama, the son of Kazuya and Jun. All right, his mission is to kill Kazuya and eradicate the double Jin. All right, and after Jin, who's this we have? Yep, it's Nameless from the King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited match. All right. Remember what I was saying earlier about guest characters? Well, here's another character from the SNK brand from the King of Fighters franchise, who are really bringing King of Fighters fans into playing Tekken 8. All right. So that's a way of re-inviting the SNK crowd, re-inviting the King of Fighters crowd to come play Tekken. You know, last time, you know, in Tekken 7 it was Geese Howard. This time it could be Nameless. Right? It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out in the Tekken world. All right. Now after him, after Nameless, there's Lidia Sobieska. All right, the Polish Prime Minister, who was the final DLC character in Tekken 7. I can safely say that now because Tekken 7 has a definitive edition out, which means that they're basically done with production for Tekken 7. I mean, as far as I know. All right, Lidia Sobieska, very popular character. It's likely, just like Leroy Smith, that they'll include her in the base roster. All right, and due to her importance, when it comes to her feud with the Mishima Zaibatsu. All right, now let's go to the second row, the bottom row. Okay, you have Lee Chaolan, you have Dr. Mishima. All right, it's a certain that he'll return. Okay, because if you've played through Tekken 7's story mode, okay, on the final cutscene, on the final cinematic, you have Lee, Lars, and Elisa. You know, they're, you know, looking at the destroyed city, like you see in the background here on this select screen. Okay, and Jin comes out, and Jin just tells them, you know, that, you know, he can control the devil. I mean, I'm paraphrasing it. Basically, say he can control the devil, and it's up to him to kill Kazuya. All right. So after Lee Chaolan, right, we have another guest character. Okay, you know, and just like how in Tekken 7 from Capcom, from the Street Fighter series, you had Akuma, this time around it's Chun-Li. Yeah, I know some of you are gonna be like, oh man, this is already a nightmare roster. Chun-Li in Tekken? Okay, well, if you look at this roster of 20 characters, right? Which two characters are missing? You have Akuma missing, and you also have Katarina Alves missing. Okay, but guess what? Chun-Li has elements from both of those characters. Okay, Akuma contributed the fireballs into Tekken, right? But since he's not around, guess who the Akuma games will flock to? They'll flock to Chun-Li. She has the fireballs element, as well as the spinning bird kick. All right. And for Katarina players, you know, Katarina had a move. What do you call it? It's like a like Chun-Li's lightning kick, right? Right. Since since Katarina is missing, right? Those players will flock to Chun-Li as well. Okay. So that would definitely give Chun-Li a high usage rate in Tekken 8. Yeah. It wouldn't seem like a nightmare to battle her, but knowing Karada, you know, to give players a challenge, he would very likely do this. He would very likely add Chun-Li to the roster. Okay, knowing him and how he likes to troll people. Okay. So after Chun-Li, right, from the Street Fighter series, we have Yoshimitsu. Mainstay character, hasn't missed a single Tekken game, so I doubt he's going anywhere. So there's Yoshimitsu. After Yoshimitsu, Ancient Ogre, very popular character. Recently, Markman and Tasty Steve have discussed Ogre in their Tekken Lore Unraveled series. Be sure to check those out too. I mean, they're hilarious. You know, they have the hilarious artwork, and it has what do you call it? It has Tasty Steve and Markman doing the voiceover. You know, it's a voiceover of their discussion while you're looking at that hilarious artwork. So be sure to check that out. Yeah, but Ancient Ogre, he's another character. He was supposed to be in Tekken Mobile also. His last appearance was Tekken Tag Tournament 2. He's another very popular character. And if they implement his transformation, like for example, if Ancient Ogre were to do his Rage Art and he would transform into True Ogre, that would definitely bring hype and increase his usage rate. Okay. All right. So after Ancient Ogre, and plus, you know, since Jin is here, you know, Jin, remember, his mother June was missing after she had fought Ogre. Okay, so imagine how things would turn out with Jin encountering Ogre again, or a different version of Ogre. I mean, imagine what I would do to him. I mean, there's so much story potential with this. I mean, with you know, Jin, Ogre, but let's move on. Martial law, mainstay character. Okay. Paul Phoenix, another mainstay character. All right. Steve Fox. He's basically another mainstay. Made his debut in Tekken 4 and hasn't missed a single game since. And then we have Jun Kazama. Okay, another highly requested character. Okay, who made her debut in Tekken 2. Her last appearance was Tekken Tag Tournament 2. All right, but this iteration of June is her fused with her Tekken Tag Tournament series Alter Ego Unknown. It'll be very interesting. It'll be very, yeah. I mean, it's like it just really adds to the drama of it all. You know, when you have June, who's been missing, canonically missing for years. Okay, her finally, you know, her being fused with Unknown, finally reuniting with her son Jin. You know, them encountering each other again. You know, just imagine how that would heighten Jin's motivation. You know, him seeing his mother again after so many years of her being missing, and him encountering Ogre again. I mean, it's just wow. I mean, there's so much potential that can be done with this. You know. All right. So, and this right here, I mean, really, it gives more with June and Bruce returning. It really it gives a nostalgic Tekken 2 type of vibe. All right. But moving on, we have Claudio Serafino, who made his debut in Tekken 7. Okay. Now, for those of you who played through Xiaoyu's story or a Claudio story, or rather character episodes, all right, you know that Claudio is using Xiaoyu to get the Jin. Okay, so it's very likely that they'll implement that into Tekken 8. That storyline in Tekken 8. Then after Claudio, last but not least, we have King, who is another mainstay character. All right, he's not going anywhere either. All right, so you have a total of 20 characters for the base roster. All right. All right. So, but once again, this is only a concept. All right. All right. So, what do you think of this roster? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you abhor it? All right. Let me know in the comment section. All right. All right. I'm SynClaiR the Wolf. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right. All right. This is SynClaiR signing off.